Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. My name is G. Cole, and welcome to Homegrown, where I get to share with you some good music while talking to some great people. Hello, world. I hope you're feeling as good as I am. I want to big up all my homegrown listeners out there and welcome all the new listeners. If you haven't yet subscribed, please do so we can keep you updated when new material is available. We will be posting new episodes bi-weekly. I want to thank everyone who has been listening and sharing. Please leave us a comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please also check out the website homegrownwithgcole.com to listen and for all things homegrown. The podcast is now available on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and all your podcast platforms. The video of this interview is also available on YouTube. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel. We also are very interactive. Please follow me on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at MyGCole. This episode is brought to you courtesy of Cloth Talk, creating your own hieroglyphics, talking on fabric. You have something to say it on a t-shirt. I've been using them for the past 7 months, and I love it. You can't beat the professionalism, can't beat the creativity. Call them at 954-591-4064. Again, the number is 954-591-4064. Cloth Talk, clothing the world one shirt at a time. And this is episode 38. Today's guest is a producer extraordinaire, a man that's steadily working and building his catalog and his brand. He's now a household brand, a household name. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm talking about Mr. Sean Contractor Edwards. He goes to the world right now as just Contractor, simply Contractor. Welcome, brother. How are you doing?
Yeah, welcome. I don't know if I'm all of those things that you mentioned. I'm definitely not, but, it's good to be on your show.
Easy. Well, trust me, it's. I've been doing the research. I've been seeing the things bubbling and the things brewing, and I'm sure things are crazy right now for you.
Well, since the project Tropical House Cruises to Jamaica, the Reggae Album, since it was released in December of 2017, it did 19 weeks on the top 10 Billboard Reggae Album charts. And it did 14 weeks at number one. And it has artists like Ed Sheeran, Sean Kingston, Vybz Kartel, Lee Scratch Perry, Capleton, Sizzla, Chronix, Damian and Stephen Marley, Wyclef, Mojo Morgan from Morgan Heritage. So it's a quite diverse album, which you won't find those artists all on the same album at one time.
Right.
So it's an all-star cast,
I love it. A few years ago, I heard the name Contractor from a friend of mine. And he was like, yo, when you come down, you need to link up with Contractor. I was busy and I'm like, okay, cool. So we're talking 4 or 5 years later and I'm saying to myself, now, damn, I should have linked him from back then. So you're based in Ocho, right?
Well, I live in Ocho Rios, Jamaica, the best place on earth. And, we keep it musical and positive here, and try to, do the best we can. And so we're always working on improving ourselves. So, next year we'll try to be better. I'm really what you call an executive producer. Mm-hmm. I do some producing, but I'm mostly what you call an executive producer. So, I'm at each year and each project, I try to be the best executive producer that I can be. Mm-hmm. And we have a follow-up project coming, which is the Hip Hop Cruises to Jamaica. And that one will be released. It's an album, hip hop album, with a little reggae, with some reggae artists on hip hop rhythms and some major hip hop artists. And we will be coming out with that at the end of October.
Nice. Ladies and gentlemen, we got to look out for that. I am super pumped right now because I'm from Ocho Rios, born and raised. So Ochi's got to be very proud of you right now. What's the response you've been getting from the people, especially the people there in Ocho Rios?
Well, I think that anybody in music and in entertainment in their hometown, they should be known. Even in their home, there it's your home city or your home state. you should be very well known and known for good things, known for the work that you do and your community participation. So here, we make a difference when we're home, when we're out in the street. We're not artists, or we're not producers. We're just people, you know what I mean? So we're just,
Right.
I'm just Sean when I'm out in the streets, you know what I mean? So I pretty much incorporate myself into the community, and I'm I don't have to walk with security, you know what I mean? I am a part of the community and the town,
Right.
and we have a good rapport here. We have a good record in terms of, when I say we, I mean Ocho Rios, the community. We have very low crime rate. Tourism here is booming,
Nice.
and it's just a great place to be.
I'm loving it. I'm loving it. And I'm gonna get more in depth with with tropical house, but let me backtrack a little bit, because what I love to do is, I always say to the audience out there that the music is on iTunes, the music is on Spotify. You can go ahead and get it, but a lot of times I want them to connect with the persons behind it, so they can know exactly what's going on and where all this stuff is coming from. Talk to me a bit about a young Sean growing up before Contractor was born. What was life like growing up for you?
Life growing up for me was interesting. You know, I I pretty much, my contractor life started when I was in college, and before that I was just I realized I had a writing ability when I was in high school, and a teacher a teacher at Wilma's High School where I went to, she was an American lady, and she said that I was a good writer, and she just believed in me and gave me that inspiration. So I'm more on that artistic side. You know what I mean? I like to read. I like to listen. You know what I mean? I like to listen to
Yeah.
BBC radio. You know what I mean? When I'm driving in the car, so I can
Yeah.
hear stuff. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
learn something.
Yeah.
Besides all the propaganda that they put on there, but they still have some interesting, programs.
Right.
So I'm that type of person, you know what I mean? But when I go out there now and I get into the entertainment world, I'm aggressive, you know what I mean? And I like high energy, and I like to be around events that have a lot of people, or be around, when I party, and it's not really just partying, it's really work. I'm listening to the
Right.
music, how the people move.
Gotcha. Got. Did I lose you? You still there?
No, I'm still here.
Okay. Cool. Cool. Cool.
Yeah, so that was it.
Yeah, no, I trust, man. I just love digging back into the backstory, and I'm a visual person, so a lot of times, it takes me there with the music too, when I know the creators of it and where they come from and so forth. Now, I'm sure this is 2018, and we're talking about Tropical House. All right, we're talking about the big major Billboard accredited album, but take me through that journey also, when you actually started into music up until now.
Well, I started into music. Well, my writing, like I say, I used to write when my brethren them have problems in high school with their girlfriends. Back then, we used to write. I used to write them love letters. So I used to write their love letters for them to get back with them girls. And then I just started writing poetry and music on my own. You know what I mean? And giving it to songwriters and so on. From back then.
Gotcha.
And then I came across, I got influenced somewhat by Rastafarianism and Black consciousness, mixing up the kind of Farrakhan teachings with the, Rastafarian teachings and the Muslim teachings, you know what I mean? Getting all of that together and
Yeah.
then expressing it, and in the studio, you know what I mean? And basically, now I realize what I'm best at. You know what I mean? And
Absolutely.
I'm best work well in the administrative field.
Right.
And so that's the area of music now that I mostly concentrate on.
Right.
I take the finished product and market it and promote it, and make it edible out there to the consumer, especially in America,
Right.
because what's happening now is that the reggae music in America is being mostly consumed. The most selling music is the foreign reggae acts, in
Yeah.
America, like
Yeah.
Revolution.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Those guys are actually on their way down here. This not Revolution, but Groundation, and a couple Common Kings, a couple of those bands, the Revolutions and so forth. You're absolutely right. They're the top names when it comes to reggae music right now. Why do you think that is though? I mean, we create it, we're the founders of it and so forth. And I personally have no problem with the genre expanding. Because personally, I feel like we bring it there, we teach it to them, we share it with them. But when we go back home, it is incumbent upon them to spread that music so that our message remains alive. But that's just my view on it. But what's your take? How do you feel about the expansion of reggae music and the fact that a lot of the most commercially successful music coming out is not being done by Jamaicans?
Well, I don't feel good about it because soon, 20 years from now, it will be like how rock music is, rock and roll. It was started by our people there in America, and then now and country and western was started by our people there in America, and now we think that country and western is of a different, comes from
True.
a different set of people. We think rock and roll is from a different set of people. So it's going to happen where 20 years from now, 30 years from now, the younger generation will think that reggae music is coming from.
All right, so we're back on. We're back on. Like we're talking about early a second ago, the music, a lot of the music that's coming out right now. And I don't even want to say a lot of the music because we do still produce most of the music, but a lot of the most commercially successful music is not necessarily coming out of Jamaica. And you were expressing how you felt about that one.
Yeah, I don't feel good about that. As somebody that markets music, I would say that Jamaica's music is being poorly marketed in the States. It's being poorly marketed, if the consumer doesn't get it, doesn't even see it or know about it, then they can't buy it. And when you're talking about marketing, you're talking about doing it on a major level so that it's playing on a major radio station 10, 15 times a day, just like a Beyonce song or a Drake song. So until it's at that level, then, it will always be this underground music. And there's no reason why it should not be on that level because the resources are there. The artists over the years have made a lot of money, and the booking agents and the producers, but they choose not to want to invest back in the number one market in the world. So the marketing definitely has a lot to do with it. And then what are we marketing? What is the product? Is this edible? You know what I mean? Is this something that can go into the homes, in people's homes and in people's cars? I mean, if you're making a song about shooting up somebody, then only the criminals can relate, or only criminals can relate to that, which is a small sect of society. And criminals are not really out there buying music, are they? Because a lot of them, they don't even have a iTunes account,
right?
So most criminals don't, right? So with the type of music that we're exporting, it's not edible. So that also contributes to the very, very low sales, and also, I mean, the people from our diaspora, Jamaicans who are there, we're not buying music. The ones that are there are not buying the music. You know what I mean? They will come out to the concert though, but they're not necessarily going to go and download or, stream the music. So, it's several factors, but if we continue at this rate, then we will have lost reggae music, at least in that market of America. You know what I mean?
Right.
I mean, I came from Germany the other day, Reggae Jam, the big festival there in Germany, over the summer here, their 25th anniversary. And the reggae artists from Jamaica are still very strong. However, there's a lot of the veterans, these are the veteran artists.
Mm-hmm.
It was my first time seeing Bitty McLean ever perform.
Wow.
I think it might have been my first time ever first or second seeing Johnny Osborne perform.
Wow.
So, these guys are still in high demand in Europe, and these artists, sorry. So, a lot of these young artists, I didn't see them there.
Mm-hmm.
And then, I didn't see them there. They're not in demand there because of the type of music that they're making, and their whole image. So several factors, but if we're not careful in America, we will have lost reggae music to Americans,
right. Something...
And Hawaiian people, which is America same way, right?
Right. The South Pacific side of things, Hawaii, Fiji, California, all on that side, they're pretty much pumping out, in addition to Europe and so forth. So you're absolutely right. And even Africa right now. I sit here and I'm listening to you talking and I say, wow, because what you're saying to me right now, I actually sat in the offices of a couple of distributors this past week and pretty much said the very same thing. On the show, I'm always talking about the music, and my issue is not who creates reggae music on a daily basis. Anybody who make music can make the music. My thing is when we don't support the original, when we don't support us, when we don't support the authentic Jamaican reggae artists, and it's kind of taboo. A lot of times people don't like to put it on the listening public, and it's just a business thing. You don't want to blame the customers. But I've said on numerous occasions that our fan base, as critical as they are, because if you put out something on them that like it, they're very vocal. They'll let you know. But when you put out the stuff that is good and they like it, they only let you know. They're not going out there to consume it. And that's the reason why I was talking to another person. I said, the reason why the other artists sell more than we do, a big reason for that is their market that they're marketing to, they're consumers of the music. They actually buy the music. The people who we put our effort, our blood, sweat, and tears into marketing our music to, and when I say marketing, I use that word very loosely, it's not buying the music. Our diaspora, our people, not buying the music. But the biggest downfall here is the marketing. You are so right. A perfect example of this. There's a veteran artist right now, one of my favorite artists, I'm guarantee is one of yours, that has a brand new album dropping. And I heard Through the Wayside. If I don't know and I'm a fan of the music, I imagine how many people do not know. I'm like, how are they putting out albums and we don't know?
Yeah, they expect, sorry to cut you, that because them have the name already and because them are this big artist already, that once it drops, people will just know and people will just buy it.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And then they're using social media, they're overrating social media because, I know artists with millions of followers on social media and they can't sell 3,000 copies. You know what I mean?
Yep.
So
Yeah. No mercy.
Might not be able to sell 1,000.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
So it's very deceptive. So we have to go back to the grassroots of marketing, and this is what
You're so right, man. You're so right. The social media thing is very, very deceptive. In terms of people think, yeah, Kevin Hart's on there with 50 million people and saying that's the way he's promoting, but that's definitely not the only way he's promoting. So we're here buying into that, and all I need is Instagram. All I need is Facebook. And the labels, the labels, whatever labels left, they aren't doing that much too. I have some more meetings scheduled, and it's something that I personally, I voice my opinion on a lot on the show, but I definitely want to talk to them in person because we got to do something. We got to do something. Now, are you there?
Yeah, man, I'm there. I'm here.
Good. Now, when people think Ocho Rios, right, they more so think tourism and beaches, but we've got a rich history. I'm talking about growing up around Jack Ruby, Roof International, Courtney Cole, IRFM, early hits from Lady Saw, Jigsy King, Tony Curtis. Who are your musical influences? Who am I crediting for Contractor being in the music business right now?
Well, I would credit all the people who I've, worked for, in close association with over the years and spent a lot of time around, including the ones now. So I would credit those people. I've worked closely with a lot of radio DJs. Mm-hmm. And when you work with the DJs who deliver the music, you understand a lot. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I used to work with, I started out with Ja Life Records. They're in New York, like with Sister Carol them, but they have a Miami base. And I started out, learning it through Ja Life Records. Mm-hmm. And then I would have to say that I worked very closely with Joseph Bogdanovich of Downsound Records. I worked closely with him for many years, and we did many projects together, and including stage shows, including Sting, and so I have I got a lot of experience in the business to start my own marketing company, and then I spend a lot of time now from that executive point of view. I spend a lot of time with artists, some of the major artists in the business. I spend a lot of time with Capleton, and I spent some time with Sizzla, but I spend a lot of time around Capleton. And right. Because of that, he taught me a lot about what it takes to be a top-notch artist, the work ethic that it takes. Mm-hmm. And I spent some time around the Marleys, and I see how they live, eat, sleep, and drink music from the artistic point of view, learning to play instruments, they do their own production, and they're real talented artists, musicians in it wholeheartedly. So I'm around those type of people. I'm not really around gimmicks artists that, try to make some little gimmick songs, and you know what I mean?
Yeah, absolutely.
I like good dancehall, and a lot of these songs that these artists are making now, these artists, they're such great songs, but they're singing about the wrong thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? If they just took that beat and those lyrics and sang about, something else, it would be so awesome. I was listening to a new Dexter Daps, like just brand new. Mm-hmm. And the melody of the song is so good. And the way he sings it is so good, right? And the beat it's on and everything. Mm-hmm. If he was singing that song about, God or life or a woman or something, it would be such a brilliant song.
Right.
But instead he used it to sing about killing, so it's just such a brilliant song, but it's not going to be edible. You know what I mean? So, that's it. So I spend my time around,
You alienate a big part of your audience that way.
You alienate a big part of your audience. The audience now becomes scared of you. And, the audience that you want to reach. You done a mash up Jamaica already. Yeah, man, you're the boss of Jamaica, right? But that will only take you so far. I mean, it will only take you so far. No, this product has to be
Right.
exported, to the nearest market, which is America. It's just so easy. And if you cannot sell 10,000 copies, I mean, the number one reggae selling album this year
Mm-hmm.
is Sting and Shaggy's album.
Right.
You know what I mean? Here is
Yeah.
Sting and Shaggy's album because of the Sting factor,
Yes.
mostly, right? No, the second biggest selling is Revolution. I think the third biggest selling is Adukara. And,
Which one? Which
so
one?
these are all foreigners. A group called Iration.
Okay. Okay. I know Irishan. Yeah. Yeah.
Iration, yeah. And Soldier did well also. But the music is more edible. You know what I mean? It's something that you can bring in your house,
Yeah.
with your kids and your teenagers and everybody. You know what I mean? And your grandmother, you can be playing it and your grandmother is in the house and you don't
Yeah.
have to lock the door. You know
That's
what I
true.
mean?
That's true. That's true.
So, I mean, the quality of the product, the quality is,
Yeah.
it's good. The artists, them good,
Mm-hmm.
and the producers are good, but the message
Yeah.
is, you know what I mean?
That's where the problem
I
lies.
would rather hear somebody say, hey, let's fight the system that's fighting us. I would rather hear somebody say, let's fight the police. Granted, that's not a good thing, but I would rather hear somebody say, let's fight the police than
Mm-hmm.
hear them say, let's go kill a man down the road. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. Yep. Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Absolutely. The message, you absolutely, I mean, you're absolutely right. There's a part of the ingredient that's really tainted, and that's the message. Because you're so, a perfect example, and I love this song, but Cartel have a song called Marijuana, where he's just like singing a melodious song, and they must sing about marijuana. I love this song. I love it together. I'm like, if people could be so creative with a song like that, I know he's extremely talented, but he's not the only talent out there. Why can't because you can tell a story and you can address the social issues without glorifying it and without encouraging the youth to go do it, and I think that's where the problem lie. Like you said, in the message, words carry power, words carry meaning. And who pays for all this music and all them things? The parents, them, The parents provide the money for the youth, them, because the youth, them, consume music too. They're not going to buy. I remember the days when I used to see parents in Target and Walmart, and they're shopping and they'd buy the album for their child or whatever the case may be. Ain't no parent going to do that with knowing what's predominantly on some of these dancehall artists, and it makes it bad for everybody, because even the dancehall artist that's doing good music, the parent just lumps them up into that whole category of bad music, and it affects everybody.
Right. Right. That's
Crazy,
true.
crazy, crazy, crazy. Now, let me ask you this. The term tropical house, the first time I heard the term tropical house, it was amidst, much resentment from the dancehall fans and lovers of the Jamaican culture, saying that, the Justin Biebers and so forth, they're kind of pillaging off of the culture without giving credit and so forth. Is that the same topic we're hearing right now when it comes to tropical house, with all these nice songs that are actually incorporating Jamaican artists in it right now?
Well, I mean, if you look at that Justin Bieber song that made that Sorry song, Rihanna, work, 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 that's what they were calling, tropical house, which means that it's a dancehall, but it's with a new flavor. So now the popular sound is Afrobeat, right?
Mm-hmm.
Which is the same dancehall, but with a different flavor.
Yeah, yeah.
So I choose, because of the diversity of these artists and the diversity of production that made up this album, we chose to take that term, right, and say, hey, Tropical House Cruises to Jamaica. You know what I mean? So
what I like to do is break down barriers, because we have so many barriers. If you look at there in America, everything is black and white. It's either you're black or you're white. And it's just like that. You know what I mean? So we always have these divisions come up.
Yeah.
So here, Justin Bieber, the sound changes and they call it tropical house, and the dancehall people start to have a problem with it. I wouldn't have a problem with that. What I would do is make some songs, change up the sound of my dancehall, right? Because hardcore dancehall is out. That boop, 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 boop. That was back in the days, what I mean? Bounty Killer Beanie Man. People, that's a new sound. It's a new era. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Just like any other music you can think of, every other genre. The core is there, but the sound changes. You know what I mean? So, and if it doesn't change, then that genre is,
right.
You know what I mean? So dancehall.
Yeah, we got to evolve, man. We got to
evolve. You have to evolve. So one day I'll come out with an album, Afro Beats Cruises to Jamaica.
Right.
You know what I mean? And whatever sound, it's sound, it's melody, it changes. So a lot of times Jamaicans, we don't love to evolve. We don't love to move with the changing times.
Yeah. No, you're absolutely right. We don't mind taking the benefit if it falls in our lap, but we don't want to evolve to go get those benefits. And it's amazing you said what you said. As I sit here and listen to you, I see why the success is there, because what I hear from you is marketing. I hear the voice of somebody who spends a lot of time and effort on marketing. I tell people this all the time. Most major corporations in the United States and internationally spend more money on marketing than they do on product development. And there's a reason for that. Because it doesn't matter how great the product is. If it's not marketed, it's going to stay in the warehouse. It's going to stay on the hard drive. It's not going anywhere. So I love your outlook on it, because that's the only way. And correct me if I'm wrong, but when I hear Tropical House Cruises to Jamaica, when I hear Hip Hop Cruises to Jamaica, when I hear Afrobeats Cruises to Jamaica, that says to me, okay, the music is going out there, they're taking it, I'm going back to get it and bring it back home. That's what I hear from those things.
Yes, I mean, when you say marketing, that's so true, because you're building a brand. You're G. Cole, you're on the radio, that's a brand. You know what I mean? You can actually take that. You can have G. Cole TV show. You can have G. Cole YouTube channel. You can have G. Cole t-shirt, G. Cole drinks.
Right.
All of these things come under this is your brand, right? So every time these artists represent themselves, they are representing their brand. They're representing even brand Jamaica. When you're there, have been from Honduras, you're in America, you're representing brand Jamaica.
Yeah.
So we can either choose to uplift the brand or break down the brand. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I would rather uplift the brand, and I will invest in the brand. You know what I mean? Yeah. I will invest in the brand. A lot of these artists and producers and labels in Jamaica, they don't want to invest in their own brand. They're waiting on Mr. Major Label, Sony, or, a major label to come and invest in them, right? When they can do it themselves.
Yeah.
And especially if they came together, if 3 or 4 or 5 of them came together, they don't have to like each other. They have a bigger pool of money, and they can invest in their work to break it there in America. You know what I mean? Because it's not hard, it's not difficult, but it takes money.
It does.
And it takes money, it takes resources to break music. You know what I mean? It's an investment.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
So that's what it takes. So we have to start doing that. You know what I mean? And I mean, we're either waiting on a major company or we're waiting on the government. Boy, the government not do enough. And they have the resources, you know what I mean, to do it.
Yeah.
So, we're going to lose the brand if we do not invest in it.
I love that. I love that because it's amazing. I hear that also too. That person's not doing this. That person. What people got to realize too is this: a lot of times when the outside investor sees the reason to come in and invest in you, they're not coming there to give you any money. They're coming in there to invest and take those rewards. So if you wait on Sony to come in, when Sony comes in, you're gonna be quite upset at the end of it because I very rarely hear people. They always scream, "Yeah, I want the investor, I want the big label, I want the contract, I want the platform." But then you always hear the complaint on the back end of how they got taken advantage of and people took this and took that. Because if somebody's coming there and taking their cash out to invest in you, they're looking high returns. You can consider that mess a high interest loan. So, invest in yourself. If you won't invest in you, why should I invest in you? And that's my outlook on it.
Yes, and I mean some artists get the big money, right? They get some big money. What did they invest it in? They invested in cars. They invested in women, right? They invested in. They don't invest it back into themselves.
Right.
So when let's say the label doesn't push out your stuff, right? At least you would have, say, taken some of your money, pushed out, and made a push yourself, right? So that the label, it would just be taken off, and the label doesn't even know how it's taken off,
right?
So the label would be more impressed and invest more money. You know what I mean? But, we come from this handout society and this, we can be lazy and we also can be, we like to show off on each other. So it's because of that, it holds us back. So you see the Chinese are now taking over.
Right.
So, but we have the strength, we have the spiritual connection. We can connect with God very easily. And, if we just wake up and utilize our resources and the human resources that we have and work together, then we will, reggae music, it can be a dominant force in the world.
Absolutely.
Just like how you see Usain Bolt come and dominate.
Yeah.
Reggae music can dominate. And it can't be like, oh, Shaggy's dominate, Shaggy's doing good, or Sean Paul is doing good. It has to be the whole industry.
Yeah. Yeah. That's what's driving it. We got to get the industry on board. Yeah.
You look at marijuana, look at the marijuana movement. Let's say marijuana was reggae. Let's say that was reggae, because marijuana was just sitting there. Jamaica had it illegal. And it was just being exported illegally and making a lot of money, made a lot of people rich. And now it's on the stock market.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, and it's growing bigger. So just think of that as like reggae music. If we can get it together, we can, I think, sometimes even though I work in the industry here and, I'm basically a part of it, so I'm guilty of the same also, you know what I mean, of playing a part in the downfall and the demise. I'm guilty of it because, whereas, for example, Vibes Cartel, if Jamaica had dealt with the Vibes Cartel issue a lot differently, how we deal with his music, which ones we allowed to be played. Nevada, same things. Which one we allowed to play on the radio, even the clean ones. Do we allow it? The alkalines, do we allow these songs to play? We allow them to play, even though we know their violence, and we say it's the clean version. So it's the same act, the same song, but the clean version. We allow it. So,
you know what? I've never thought about it that way, but you're so right. You're so right. How you gonna have a clean version of a bad thing?
You have a clean version of a bad thing, I'm telling you. I mean, I'm promoting a Tommy Lee song right now. And I said, they gave me what they call the clean version. which means no profanity, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's doing all these things in the song. He shoots a lot of people in the song, you know what I mean? He rise the cane in the song. So the clean version that they give me, it doesn't say AK, it says K, right? And then I said, okay, clean. I said, okay, give me a cleaner version of it, right?
Yeah.
Which they were very adamant to do. And then the cleaner version is just like maybe one or two words, but it's basically the same thing, you know what I mean? So,
wow.
I wish the artists, you know, we have to have a teaching, education. Maybe we should have in school, we should have here in Jamaica, I'm talking about, we should have it's mandatory you do a class, just, you know, just like a PE class, but you have a music class. It's not teaching you about notes, it's just teaching you about yourself, and if you want to be a DJ, and because a lot of young people want to be singers, DJs. Listen, this is the vibration you give off when you do this, and this is the vibration you give off when you do this, and this will bring you more money and a better lifestyle.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because when you look at some of the artists, you know, they're sick, they're ill, they die from these illnesses because of the lifestyle.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you look at we lost Dennis Brown early. We lost Gregory Isaacs early.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, real early because of lifestyle.
Yeah.
You know, so I might need to know, say, boy, listen, when I'm going to be an artist, you know, I need to learn them, but I need to be just like an athlete, have a fit, my mind have a fit,
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
yeah, I like that.
We can do it though. We can do it, but it's all in the teaching and how we train these younger generation. We are the older generation. We've done gone bad already, but you see the next generation, they are the ones that are going to beat these artists in America.
Yeah.
You know, beat these reggae artists in America. The younger generation, they can come do it. And when I say that, I don't just mean Skip Marley.
Right,
you know,
right.
It can't be just Skip Marley.
True.
You know what I mean?
True.
So a lot of artists are doing good jobs. Chronics, Protege, them. You know, a lot of artists are still making good music, these young artists, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they need to add the good music with the persona. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have, you know, some of these artists, they're sticking themselves in the foot, you know, putting their foot in their mouth.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you can't call, you know, I can say you can't, but you're the artist and you go and call the first black president in America a waste man. You know, those are not good things to be doing.
Not a good move.
You know what I mean? You drop your brand.
Yeah.
You drop your brand. You know what I mean? At least call somebody in Jamaica that then if you want to do that.
Yeah.
But, you know, it dropped your brand. You're not going to see an successful artist in America doing that.
Right.
They just won't do it. They might speak against Trump, but, you know, that's because they are big already.
They've already established their brand.
Jay-Z can do it because he's big already.
Yeah.
And he's big already, making, you know, money coming in from all over.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You're not going to hear Bob Marley. You never hear Bob Marley say, boy, the president of America is a waste man, or the queen of England is a waste woman.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So some of these artists, these things that these artists are saying, you know what I mean?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
You bun the queen and yet still, you bun the queen yet still you accept her pound, her sterling notes. You accept the sterling notes.
Yeah.
With her face on.
Yeah, bun the queen, but you jump on the flight to England.
Are you accepting the sterling notes?
Yeah. It is crazy. And I do think that artist development is very, very important. And I think that's where we kind of need to pick it up also. You know, in regard to the album itself, a lot of times people see greatness and they think we stumble upon greatness when a lot of times greatness was the goal. With all the accolades, take me to the creation and so forth, the album itself, where it is right now, right? What's it accomplishing right now? Was that the plan? Was that the goal? Was that where you saw it when you set out to make this project?
Well, that's a very good question. As the project grew, we set different goals. Like right now, we're vying for a Grammy nomination for Best Reggae Album.
Nice.
That was as the project grew, we started to say, okay, this is what can be done. Ultimately, your distribution and your sales are the best things that can happen. Wider distribution, sale growth, and streams are the ultimate growth for your album. And also the branding of the label and the branding of the product, is something else that we worked on. The project premiered on Billboard. So because it premiered on Billboard, it gave us a very big advantage and gave us a direct link to the marketplace. It premiered on Billboard's website. They tweeted it.
Wow.
Then MSN Entertainment picked it up. So because of that, the sales were good and it was consistent. And we came out with other, we applied the marketing juice to it. And, we use social media. We also use the Jamaican media a lot because they go viral. And so it did its time in terms of, being on the Billboard charts. And it made its way for the other people to come on it, you Sting and Shaggy and Ziggy Marley and so on. So, going towards the last quarter now, the end of the year, which is Grammy nomination time. And then that gives the project a whole nother birth if it gets nominated, when it gets nominated. And it gives the project a whole nother birth. And we're also putting out our other project, the hip hop project. And then seeing where it takes us from there, because the project opportunities open and opportunities come every time you put out a project and it's successful. So I just really, I'm grateful. I have to be very thankful, to the forces, all the producers on it that contributed their songs and all the artists on it also. I mean, they're the ones that really made it. And my partners there in America, the distributors in Atlanta, Armada Records, they do a great job there out of Atlanta. They did a great job marketing, helping with the marketing also. And it was a team effort. It's not contractors' effort. It's a team effort. A lot of people came together to make it happen. The producers, the artists, and my partners in America. And of course, God is the pilot, so the Most High is the pilot, you know what I mean?
Love it.
And having us, approach it positively. And, what I learned about music is it's a cycle. So, it won't be hot all the time. It's hot. And then something else comes, somebody else comes, and you move over, and then you move to another project. You know what I mean? A lot of artists are fight to keep on the top all the time, and then they ended up fighting each other just to try to keep on top. You have to share it. They say every grain of sand has its day on the shore. In the sunlight. So it has to be shared. We have to share it. Just like you might be on from 6 to 10. From 10, somebody else comes on. You know what I mean? So it's a group effort that made it happen. Mojo Morgan gave me a big song with him, Wyclef, Damien, and Stephen Marley called $1 Million Check. And I'm grateful to him. And when I say give it to me, he just said, here you go, man,
Wow.
I told him the concept. All the producers, I told them the concept, and they just said, here you go. And I mean, some of the songs on it they're my clients. The artists are my clients. So Sean Kingston
Gotcha.
came to me to market songs for him, the one with him and Cartel and one with him and Safari.
Mm-hmm.
And so went from marketing to, hey, can I have that song for this project? Can I license that song for this project? And they just said, here you go.
Wow.
So it's a team effort. Once I told them the concept of what we're trying to do, and because they knew me, then I sold the concept to them basically,
Mm-hmm.
and they believed in it, and it's succeeded.
Wow.
So I'm really grateful to the artists and the producers. They're the ones that really made it happen.
Wow, we gotta big them up. And you know what? Let's bring it back home too. I mean, they only said yes because they knew what you were capable of. So definitely keep doing what you're doing. I guarantee you, Joe Blow says, "Yo, I got this project coming out." It ain't happening because they are familiar with the quality of what you do and how you do what you do. And there's something you said there also is that Sean Kingston was a client for different reasons, but he comes to you for one thing. You excel at what you do for him. Then you put yourself in a position and say, "Okay, so now that you know what I do, can I have this? Can I license that?" And so forth.
Yeah, opportunity presents itself.
Yep.
Opportunity presents itself. Like you can be, for example, you're a radio host,
Mm-hmm.
right? However, opportunity can present itself for you to be an MC.
Yep.
The opportunity can present itself for you to be an advisor. So because of the position that you're in, more opportunities are open to you, and you can seize them or you can let them pass you by.
Absolutely.
And the successful people seize all opportunities, all good opportunities. They seize them all.
You gotta.
And some people have a story to tell that, when we was doing that job or whatever, we did meet so and Ray, but I never jump on it. Well, that was an opportunity.
That was an opportunity you missed.
So, an opportunity missed. So we have to seize the opportunity, seize the moment. Every day is a different beginning. It's a new life.
Right.
So you wake up every day, you have a new life. You have a new way to approach the same things that you've been doing. You can approach it differently, do it a little differently, market it to some different people. Because just for example, you're doing reggae as a radio host, and that's, let's say, mostly Jamaicans.
Mm-hmm.
But you can expand it to other Caribbean people, market it to some other Caribbean island people.
Yeah.
And then you can take that and you can market it to cross it over. It kind of blends into agriculture, right?
Yep.
So that's another market that you can open up into. So the possibilities are endless.
Right.
You know what I mean? Just like music. Music pays so many people. A lot of people, they just want to be artists.
Mm-hmm.
But music is so vast.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. That is so true. So true. Brother, let me tell you something. A lot of people who are listening right now are learning so much from the things you say. And I always say the best, you want to learn, talk to the successful people, because, no better person to learn from the job you want to do than to learn it from the person who's done it before. Now, I can tell in your words and the way you do what you do, that marketing is what you do. Speaking about that, right? The title of the album, is there going to be a really a cruise in the works with these artists aboard, like the Welcome to Jamrock cruise, something like that?
Well, a cruise, you need about, to kick off one of those cruises, you need about 10 million US. You know what I mean? 5 to 10 million US. When you see the Welcome to Jamrock cruise, it's, and now they have the Love and Harmony, it's not cheap.
Yeah.
The cruise part, to be honest with you, is just a brand. It's actually capitalizing on the success of the Welcome to Jamrock cruise,
right.
and using that same brand and into the title. There was a soca cruise. I'm not sure if you know about it, but there was a Uber. It's called the Uber Soca Cruise, and it came from the States here to Ocho Rios, and I was given the job part to do the marketing for it, and where all the guests came off of the ship and partied here on Ocho Rios Beach, and they had Kez, the band, they were performing.
Wow.
And it was an amazing day. It was an amazing, and then they partied in the day, and then they left on the cruise back in the evening.
Wow.
And they had an amazing time. All the alcohol was gone, all the food was gone.
Wow.
And so I had that experience. So I know that the Jamrock cruise gets here to Ocho Rios, it transforms the whole town.
Yeah.
Because all the bars are full, all the restaurants are full. They turn over the whole place.
Yeah.
So because of that, I had to put that name in the title. But I'm a long way away from doing a cruise,
Gotcha. That's genius. I dig it. I really like that idea. And before I let you go, again, I did my research, and of course, I know, and I don't know how much you can speak on it or so forth, but you were supposed to produce a track on the new Tupac project, right? Who happens to be my favorite rapper all time. What's going on with that?
Okay, Tupac has a cousin, brother, Mopreme Shakur.
Mm-hmm.
So he has a connection with an artist I work with in the UK, Jethro Sharon, who's Ed Sheeran's cousin.
Mm-hmm.
So Ed Sheeran's cousin, Jethro Sharon, and Mopreme had dialogue, and they were able to work out a song with some old Tupac lyrics on a new beat, and Ed Sheeran and Jethro Sharon's vocals. So now they're waiting on the clearance, of course, from Tupac's estate.
Gotcha.
And when the clearance arrives, then he will also be added onto the Hip Hop Cruises to Jamaica.
Wow. I'm excited about that. I hope everything goes through smoothly. We know the back end of things work a little weird on that, but again, based on what you've been doing and the good things you've been putting out in the ether, in the universe, it'll come back the right way. I can't wait to see that one. I know you got some stuff. You mentioned the hip hop album coming up, and then, hey, I hope the Afrobeats one is next on the lineup and we get it all done. Drop some social media info for the masses that need to be able to find you.
My distributor there in America is Amada Records, Amada, AMADA Records.
Mm-hmm.
And their DJ pool is called the DJ Grid USA. And my company here in Jamaica is called Contractors Marketing, but a lot of people refer me to media as Contractor Music Marketing.
Mm-hmm.
So once you type that in, you will see all our info come up.
And I'm definitely going to put that information in the show notes when this goes up on the podcast. Contractor, I appreciate you, man. And on behalf of my listeners and myself, I definitely want to thank you so much for taking the time to hop on the horn with us here. I really appreciate it.
All right, G. Cole, thank you for your time also. All right, that's up to the listeners. And
we'll be talking for sure, man. I appreciate you. And there you have it. Thank you so much for tuning in. It has indeed been a pleasure. Be sure to subscribe to the podcast, Homegrown with G. Cole, available now on iTunes, Google Play, Stitcher, TuneIn, Spotify, iHeartRadio, all your podcast platforms. Also, check out the website, homegrownwithgcole.com, to listen and for all things homegrown. The video version of these interviews are available up on YouTube. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel. Remember, be safe, be kind, and be good to each other. My name is G. Cole, and this is Homegrown.
Nakikinig ka sa musika, Homegrown with G. Cole.
Estás escuchando Homegrown con G. Cole.
您现在正在收听的是 Homegrown with G. Cole.
You're listening to Homegrown with G. Cole.